Oh my goodness, that looks absolutely awesome. Well, welcome back to Let's Build, and that's Kevin Hart's Pontiac GTO. And Kevin is an avid collector of muscle cars and also of sort of resto modding them. I was asked to build it, as you can see. Here's the end result, which I couldn't wait to show you first. And if you like this as much as I do, then you'll want to stick around and watch the build. I guess if not, well, thanks for tuning in. But yeah, I think this looks great. It's built on the Sabre Turbo Custom, but in case you want to build it on the free Sabre from the street, I'm going to show you that build as well. But starting off with my custom as it was, we're driving down to Benny's because I want some of the internal parts at Benny's. This is a resto mod build you've not seen on it, and probably are sort of not going to see on it now, really. It's a resto mod with an LS2 in. I will endeavour to leave a link below, because if you prefer this car to the one we're going to build, well, all you've got to do is look at what I take off this car, really. I have to say though, I think Kevin's does look better, so come on, workshop door, let's get open, let's get building. I'm on maximum armour because I think it looks nicer after you've crashed it if you only have a couple of scratches, and the performance parts otherwise on this car are up to you. For the front bumper, I've gone for the painted and chin spoiler, which I think works the best. The chin spoiler is a little bit big and it is body coloured. It's a little smaller and black on Kevin's car, but I don't think that matters. I think that is the best of the options that we have on here. It also, of course, suits the car I'm taking it off, so nothing to change for me here. Moving to the back bumpers, I need a painted back bumper, or painted rear bumper as it says. So that's that done. Onto the chassis, there's no roll cage in Kevin's car or the one I was building. For the engine, I don't normally do stuff under the hood, very rarely. I think mostly it's a waste of cash. Of course, the engine tuner I do on just about every car up to 4. For the exhaust, I've got a chrome tip exhaust here for the car that I was building, but when you look at the ones on Kevin's, they're pretty much hidden away, so it's really up to you what you pick. In the end, I have just left it as a chrome tip exhaust. I think that works not too badly, it's fairly subtle. For the grille, I have the painted lights around, as you can see here, for the car I was doing. But when you look at Kevin's, you can see that's not going to be appropriate, so we're moving to the de-chromed split grille for Kevin's. I do wish we could have the central bit, the sort of nose of the GTO, but we can't. Now, we don't have the GTO hood on this car. Funnily enough, the Stallion does have the GTO hood, but it doesn't look that great otherwise. So I've got the cowl induction hood for the car that I was building, and it's a bit hard deciding really which is going to be the most suitable one for Kevin's car, but in the end I did stick with that induction hood. There is a hump on his car, so let's have something there. The boot is really up to you. The hydraulics, I don't use it for this lowrider stuff. Inside, and this is one reason I like to build this on the custom version of the car, is we can do more to make it look like Kevin's car. Leather striped works really well. It really does look like some of the inside parts of his car, and that's quite rare in GTA. And we have a nice light trim colour, and when you see how much that trim is visible from the outside, that is superb. So we're going cream here on the trim, and look at what a difference that's made to the car already. We don't have any ornaments to do. For the dials, I mean, the stock ones aren't bad, but if we move on down, Sun God Negative definitely seemed to be the closest to me. Starry Eyed was the steering wheel I used for the one I built, but for Kevin's one I'm trying to reference the correct colours, the correct look. It's not actually possible. But the Gotwood, that's the best one. There's no column shifter to do, and we certainly don't want the lowrider plaques in the rear. For the entertainment, I couldn't really see particularly any speakers on Kevin's, so we're leaving that as stock. And for the light colour, I find if you go ice white, that really makes those dials very cool indeed. I'm running the standard yellowy lights at the moment. They are age appropriate, but if you think the car would have had upgraded lights, then perhaps a visit to the car meet is in order for the white lights there. There is no livery on either car. you can see Kevin's private plate in the rear photo. You might want to copy that if you've got any plate allocation left with the current mess up that we have. For the respray, the car at the moment is in a classic stone silver, which of course, because it's classic, has just come out as a bit of a grey. But finding the correct colour for Kevin's car, now that did take me quite a while. I was almost thinking I might have to opt for a crew colour, but no, luckily we don't. You need to get into metallics and pop on Beechwood Brown, and you can see straight away that that is actually pretty close. I spent ages then trying to find the right pearlescent, and I think Feltzer Brown works pretty well. It's exactly the same for the secondary, because you can see that is colouring one or two options around the car. As you can see also, the Beechwood Brown comes on the interior and the whole thing really starts to tie together. Trim we've already selected, so that was fine. Onto the spoiler. There is a small spoiler on Kevin's car. We'll take the only option. Fancy that, only one option on a custom vehicle. On then with trunk, which we're just going to leave as stock. For the wheels, we're pretty lucky that there's something almost the exact same in the game. They are a Mercy, I think a Mercy concave on there already. But we're going to take them off and we're going to go into high end, and we're looking for Dash VIP. Once those are on, you need to nip into the colour and decide really between dark copper and gold, and I think in this case they're so bright you would go for gold, but of course if you're on next gen with the HSW, I think you have a much more interesting and much more relevant gold colour that you could paint them. But yeah, the style of these wheels I'm very pleased with. Oh, and the wheels, as you can see, with dark copper on the previous car. Not forgetting our bulletproof tyres, and we don't need any tinted windows, so that completes the build, at least the first build, of Kevin Hart's GTO. If you pick up a standard Sabre Turbo from the street, I'm not sure if they're still for sale, I think not. Pretty much all your external options are exactly the same, they're all there, and that's why I'm running this through at an accelerated speed. There's no point in seeing the same thing twice. What we're missing, of course, are the internal options. And now we'll head into the garage. We'll actually put them side by side, see what you think, and see whether you want to build this on a free car or a car that you actually have to pay some money for. So what do you think? Well, for me, having that light coloured interior absolutely makes it worth paying the extra money. So if you're building Kevin's car just to test out, well, grab one from the street, try it, see what you think. But if you're building his car to keep in a collection, then I really do suggest the Sabre Turbo Custom is the way to go. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this build of Kevin's car. I most certainly have. I'm really pleased with the final outcome of it, and in fact this is how I'm going to store the car. I wasn't that enamoured with the one I had built, and I had been on the lookout for something more exciting to do with it, and I think that this is it. So it's great, and if I do get the chance I might even put Kevin's personal plate on, but I believe we have to wait till the next DLC before that option is going to actually come back to us, and until then we're quite restricted to about half of our custom number of plates. I do have one more of Kevin's cars actually that I had already built before I ever got the request for this one. It's a relatively simple build but looks pretty cool. If you're interested in it, then do ask below. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this, as always, please give a like. I'd really love a comment as well to tell me what you thought about this build and whether you'd think about building it yourself, and if so, which car you would build it on. Otherwise, we're going to leave my character to drive the car down to the beach for a fancy outro. You can stay and watch that if you wish. But whatever, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.